weigh things, time to learn how to use a balance. We have a couple of different ones here, but I am going to focus on this one because this is the workhorse of the lab. This one's awesome, but because it is so sensitive, look at all those points after the decimal point, all those digits after the decimal point. So you can be very, very, very precise with this one, but it also takes a little longer because of all that. So you're welcome to use this, but for this demo, I'm going to turn this on, press that button. It's going to go through a series of steps here while it gets turned on and calibrated. Often we store these slid kind of back on the bench here. When you bring it forward, lift it up and then set it back down. Not good for these guys because we're taking some pretty precise measures on here, right? Tiny, tiny numbers. So that's a very sensitive mechanism being used to weigh your items. If you are pulling this forward and it's going across the bench top here, you're not doing the equipment any favors. Let me just say, you're literally damaging it as you do that. So go ahead and bring it forward and back all you want. I'm fine with that, but literally grab around it with two hands, lift it, and then gently set it back down. You're gonna see there is a bubble here. That is supposed to be in the middle of that circle. If it's not there, then sometimes that's just from when it's been slid back and forth. The feet in the back are on a dial, so you can balance this, you can level it, I should say, by turning this one. There's another one on the other side. By turning those one up or down, and a combination of the two going up and down between those two will allow that bubble to get to the middle. If you're struggling with that, come grab me. It's kind of fun. I feel like it's almost like a little video game without the video, but trying to get that in the middle is a bit of a challenge, but it's important because this doesn't work right if it's not sitting nice and level. Okay, so there are 3 trap doors on here. There's one here that really we don't ever use in here. There's one on this side, and there's one on this side. Your tools that you're going to need for weighing are found under here. We have currently 4 different types of weigh boats. This is actually weighing paper, so if you have a really tiny amount, use the paper. And if you do have something like that, come get me. I'll show you how to properly fold it so that you can have less struggles with using it. We've got 3 different sizes here. We also have tiny size in here. I know I used to have ones that looked more like a pointy end, more looked like this with a pointy end off of it. I know I had feedback that people like that. I will see if I can get those again. But this is where your weigh boats are. This is where the rest of your tools are. You're gonna need a nice sterile prep pad. You're also, if you ever see that this drawer is getting low, go ahead and fill it. You don't need to wait for me to tell you to fill it. If it is getting low, just go ahead and do that. And then there's different sizes of scupulas. That's the proper name, scupula. Kind of a fun one. We got big ones like this. We have little tiny guys like this. We also have some that are too big to go in there. We've got ones like this that have a scoop on one end and a flat head on the other. For the most part, it's personal preference. Use what works for you. It's all good. Just know, obviously, you need those items, and this is then where the stir bars are located, because often you'll need to stir your stuff. So you're going to use your ethanol wipe to sterilize your scoop, and once you do that, wipe it off really good. Once you wipe it off, you're not going to set it back down because that is it's now sterile. Right after you wipe it off, it's still not dry though, right? You just use ethanol on it. If you are not in a hurry, you can let it air dry. Don't set it back down, but you can let it air dry. Or I am fine with you grabbing one of these Kim wipes from up here and using this, because these are clean. I mean, you're okay to keep this in your hand and use this to wipe off the excess moisture that was left behind from that ethanol. Now, when you're going to go ahead and use the balance, you're going to take whatever your weigh boat is and set it in there. Obviously, you're no longer at zeros. You're going to tear this. All that is the middle button. Press it once, wait a moment, and now you're at zeros. If I was smart, I would have closed my doors when I did that. Close your doors when you do that because there's airflow in here. Somebody walked by you, that would have been all messed up. So you're going to go ahead and tear that just by pressing that middle button once. And now when it comes time to weigh your items, whatever you're doing, my preference actually is then to open both doors, take the cover off. I often will just set it here. Now in one hand, I'm holding this inside here over the top of my weigh boat, and then I will have my scoopula coming in from the other side. And then as I'm scooping, I'm not going to be making a big old mess because I'm very gently scooping from here straight down. If you do all your scooping outside of this space, if I'm over here and scooping and then trying to get it in there, you're going to make a massive mess. Do yourself a big favor. Use two hands. One hand from the left holding the bottle, one hand from the right holding your scoop, and do everything right here. And do it slowly because this powdery stuff, it makes a mess. If you go fast, it's going to make a mess. So just be responsible with what you're doing so that you don't make a mess. But it happens. I make a mess. It's just part of this. So if you're careful enough and you don't make a big mess, then cleanup is simple. But if you did make a mess, whether it's in this space, I mean, this is the big weigh boat. If you have a little weigh boat, you may have spilled some here or spilled some here. Your mom doesn't work here. Clean up after yourself. If you leave that mess for somebody else, you just upset your coworkers. Clean up after yourself. And I'm going to say it again. Clean up after yourself. It's super annoying. You guys have all, by now, probably been in a situation where somebody else left a mess. Now, if it was something where they were in a rush, they had to head to class, I hope they at least were polite enough to say, I am so sorry. I don't have enough time to stay to clean this up. Could you please take care of that part? Okay, but don't make a habit of that because nobody likes the cleanup part. I know that. I get that. I sincerely relate to that. But don't keep poking your coworkers and having them clean up after you because you're just going to make people mad. That's not worth it, is it? So clean up after yourself. And with this, if it's on this outside surface, if it's out here, if it's out here especially, just even a wet paper towel, just wet with water is fine out here. We also have the ethanol wipes that we use to clean off the computers. Feel free to use that. When it comes to cleaning off inside here, I will be doing another video on how to do that because you don't want to just dive in there and touch this top because that's a really sensitive weighing component under there. So you got to be careful. So look for another video coming soon on how to properly clean your balance. But as far as using this, that's it. I realize I'm leaving this open. Do not leave things open more than they need to be. Keep things closed as much as possible. That goes for bottles, that goes for anything you work with in a lab. The more you can leave things closed, the better. Closed, covered, because stuff happens. So you want to make sure to keep things as clean as possible because it's a lab, right? So when you have questions, please ask. I'm not going through what all the rest of the buttons are in here because we don't use them. All you need to know is this one gets it turned on. This one also tears it so you get to zeros. And then when you're done, hold your finger on it, and now it's off. You really should just turn it off at the end of the day. Or after you're done using it, sorry. Just turn it off when you're done using it, close everything up, and lift it back into position. If you have questions on how to use this big guy, don't be afraid to ask me. Happy to show you. I'm not going to make a whole video on it. It's basically the same. You got to allow some extra time with the tearing because that does take a bit longer on this one. But if you need to measure anything that goes out as far as it could go as far as 5 decimal places, this one only went as far as 3. We have the capability of doing that, and I'm happy to help. Thanks, guys. Let me know when you have questions, and come talk to me. Let me know what you just learned.